Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics.
All right. Hello, everybody. Apologies for the delay. Our team was off and I was still working, but I definitely had to come in here and make sure we had a live stream because I know the market has been pretty bullish, pretty green. So I want to kind of share with you guys how I view the market right now, and especially how to use the platform Token Metrics. So stay tuned. It's going to be quite the stream. I'm not sure how long I'll have the stream going on, but right now it's just me, and I'm all yours. And the title of the stream is basically how to make millions in crypto, because I know that's the question everybody always has, right? So this is going to be a live stream, raw AMA. You guys can ask me anything. Let's welcome people into the stream. What's up, Wak? How are you? What's up, Starboy? Star the boy. What's going on? Hey, AZ, what's up? Good to have you on here. Yes, market cap has been going up. And for those of you who are customers of Token Metrics, you've noticed that we're basically in a bull market. Basically, this month has been a pretty good month. Quite the month to begin the year, which is always good. I'll go through and kind of do my quick market update. Hey, what's up, Samad? Good to have you on here. What's up, Christy? Greetings from Germany. Guten Tag, if I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Jamal, what's up? What's going on? Hello, everybody. Oscar says you had me at millions. Well, stay tuned because we're going to do quite the deep dive. Crypto Fund says, when I get my channel up, will you come on as a guest? I love the channel. Reach out to our team, info@tokenmetrics.com, or just via Twitter DM on Tokenmetrics. Moneyman says, more blessings from Lagos. What's up? I love Lagos. Although I always tell my friends that Ghana has you guys beat on the jollof rice. Maybe it was the place I went to in Ghana. Maybe it wasn't good as the jollof rice I had in Lagos, but Lagos is always a vibe. Greetings from NL, Netherlands. All right. Good to have you on board. Let's go Brazil. All right, Vitor, good to have you on here. Harsh from India. What's up? Good to have you here as well. All right. Oh, we got somebody in Austin. That's what's up. Hello from Austin. Okay. All right. So let me see the best way to really do this AMA. We can either do Mentimeter or we can just do it straight from the comments. But yeah, let's actually do it straight from the comments. So for those of you who are early, just post your questions in the comments and I'll get to them. The old classic Moon Lambo. All right, so let me pull up my screen. Okay. Just bear with me, guys, here. It's just me producing the show. So when I'm see, yeah, there we go. I think that's, let's see. Nah. I love this song. Okay, all right. So, first things first, if you're tuning in, just watching the stream for the first time, first of all, welcome to the Tokenmetrics live stream, AMA. I'm Ian Bellina, founder and CEO of Tokenmetrics, and also general partner at Tokenmetrics Ventures. And I've been in crypto since 2016. For those of you who've been with me since back in the day, thanks for being here with us till then. Back then, kind of my claim to fame was basically turning 20 grand to 5 million using a data-driven approach to investing called Tokenmetrics. Back then it was just a spreadsheet. We then took that spreadsheet and have now built what is now Tokenmetrics. It's basically a SaaS product that lets crypto investors become smarter investors using data and AI. And that's primarily through 3 different products, which I'll kind of share. But you can access everything by just going to tokenmetrics.com. So the first part I want to go through, if we log in here, well, actually, we have this market page, which anybody can access for free without even logging in. If you just go to app.tokenmetrics.com/market. So for the time being, this is free for even non-customers. So I just want to post that in the chat. All right, there we go. Right, but let's basically look at this, right? So if we zoom in, this basically tells us what market we're in, right? Right now we're in, it's actually been, even though it's been bullish, there's been 2 pump fakes, but overall we're still in a bullish market. When I say bullish, that means we're in a risk-on environment. That does not mean we're in a full-on bull market, right? I want to kind of categorically define the 2, right? So basically, think of this more like a trend reversal, but this does not mean we're in a full-on bull market. And I'll clarify, basically, it's not altcoin season yet. So even though the prices are going up, Bitcoin is up over, what, 35%, almost 40%, and also pumping. I know Aptos has been doing well and some other tokens. We're not in a full-on bull market just yet. And I'll explain why. But for the time being, don't view it as a full-on bull market or altcoin season. Because for me, for those of you who follow me for a while, I don't really look at the macro, but looking at the data, we're in a bullish reversal, right? So basically on the 13th, we turned bullish. Then 18th, turned bearish. This was around the DCG, Digital Currency Group bankruptcy, or Genesis Capital bankruptcy. Then that didn't really affect the market much. It was basically priced in, went back to bullish, then bearish again, then back to bullish, right? So while this might seem like it's pump faking a lot or creating lots of false positives, this is the adjustment we made to the market indicator post FTX. Because the last thing you want to do is, like in the prior model, the market indicator was basically bullish, then the FTX news happened, and it took it 4 days to adjust, right? So we made an improvement to have it be more sensitive. So basically, it requires a lot more Tokenmetrics grades to be bullish, for it to turn bullish, but also adapts a lot faster, right? So that's the cost we have to do, or that's the sacrifice we have to make this react a lot faster so people can avoid L's, right? Because we'd rather have a false positive to go from risk on to risk off than be risk on when DCG or FTX happens again in the future, right? The next FTX, so the next Black Swan event. So that's kind of the context. But basically, if we go to, basically our secret sauce is basically our ratings. So we take different data points from fundamental analysis to technology, code reviews, security audits, code quality. All this has been automated with our technology and other different data points. And we put this into our AI, into our artificial intelligence and machine learning models, and we're able to grade crypto assets. So think of us as basically like the Moody's or some other Wall Street companies and how they grade crypto assets. Like how a Wall Street analyst will upgrade or downgrade a stock. We're doing the same thing, but with data and AI in an objective way for crypto assets. So we have two grades. We have an investor grade, which is more for the long-term investor, and we have our trader grade, which is for the trader. And all this is data-driven based on our AI. And the cool thing is this adjusts pretty much in real time. The trader grade updates every day, and the investor grade updates, I would say, anywhere from daily all the way to weekly, right? But typically, I would say every week there's a change in the investor grade. Investor grade is more long-term focused. So we take all these grades, and based on how many grades we have that are bullish and bearish, we can say, okay, the market has officially reversed. So when this goes to bullish, so for those of you who've been following us, right, our bull and bear indicator is now at 71%. In the past, it was as low as, I think, 10%. So we've gone from 10% to 70%, a 7x change. So there's definitely been a bullish sentiment in the market. And looking at our different grades, right? So from the trading side, we have over 90% of the grades have a breakout strategy. They're in a bullish breakout. And over 90% on the low frequency side are also in a bullish breakout. And if we go here, this basically gives you a color-coded view on the market. Red meaning it's basically a bear market or bearish, green meaning bullish. So in the last year, there hasn't really been too much green. So for us to now start to see some green, that's a good sign. But why I say we're not in a full-on bull market is if you go down here, we're still in Bitcoin season. So the market has not completely shifted to altcoin season just yet. And I think once we're in altcoin season, once we go from Bitcoin season to altcoins having the dominance in terms of market share of the market, right? So basically looking at this, Bitcoin dominance is at 40%. This is basically what is tracking. So even though prices are green this month, once Bitcoin dominance decreases and money flows from Bitcoin into alts, once we enter this white space and we start heading toward altcoin season, then we're in a full-on bull market. Once we're in altcoin season and everything's making money, one, we're basically in a bull market, a real bull market, and two, that's the time you want to start taking profits. Right? So basically, you want to buy low, sell high. So meaning that because capital flows, right? So in the same way how you have sector rotation, we have Bitcoin and alt season rotation. So right now, capital is mainly in Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been moving the market. Bitcoin is now at 23K, I believe, from like what, 17K, 16K. But once capital flows from Bitcoin into alts, then we're in a real bull market. But yeah, this is basically the page. This is a nice place to start looking at the market. We can break down the sectors and see what sectors are doing well. We see exchange-based tokens are, on average, have a grade of 85%, which is pretty good. Gaming, metaverse. Then we have the daily movers. But yeah, this is kind of how we view the market. Now, let me check the chat and see where we can start in terms of questions. Please don't take the L. Never taking no L's if the Lord helps me, oh Lord. All right, Ian, have you heard of Aptos launch token? What do you think about it? No, I had heard of Aptos. Now, we don't have Aptos fully graded yet on the platform because we require, if I pull up Aptos, we require over 100 days of trading data before our AI starts giving a grade, because we want to make sure we have enough data, enough valid data to really give you objective analysis. Right now, Aptos launch token that I've not heard of. I do see we have it in our system. So we have the investor grade for Aptos. Let me begin with Aptos. So yeah, so no trader grade, but we have investor grade because investor is basically based on fundamentals. For those of you who are fans of GPT-3 and Chat GPT-3, the cool thing of being an AI company, we're working with that platform for over a year, and we actually have it integrated into our product. Right, so we have AI-based investment reports that goes through our data and basically creates reports. In this case, gives you a summary on the team's investors and tokenomics. So this is actually a GPT-3 integration with token metrics. So taking our data and telling you, okay, what do we think of this project, right? First of all, Aptos is up 4x, 400%. I mean, that's incredible. But looking at the fundamentals, we see team investor grade at 75%, which makes me take note and put this on a watch list. But if we dive deeper into this, we can see that Aptos does have great technology, right? So our AI has gone through the technology and it's good. Valuation grade, that we don't have enough information just yet. I think tokenomics wise, in my opinion, looking at what I saw in CoinGecko, it seems like this followed the typical VC Ponzonomics. Then if we go to fundamental grade, this could be better, right? But this basically distills all this into one single grade holistically. So you know, okay, is this worth investigating further? For me, I like to start with projects that have an 80% grade or higher, but let's find out where it scored well, where it didn't score well. Let's start with technology. So looking at this, so we see there's lots of developer activity. This is basically looking at the project's repo on GitHub. There are lots of developers shipping code, which is good. You just want to follow the developers in terms of innovation. If we go to security, we're partnered with Sir.live. We can see that basically they have pretty good scores, a very good score actually, right? So we're able to look at, do they have any past hacks? Do they have a bug bounty program? Do they have security audits? So all this has been distilled into one single grade to tell you how secure it is. Code quality, this we don't have any data for, but basically this tells me their code is not fully open source, at least not just yet. But basically, or maybe we weren't able to audit it, but basically we're able to download GitHub repository data. Then we run our own code analysis using software that's fully automated to test for vulnerabilities and bugs in the code. And then we create a grade, and that's the code quality score. So all this can be distilled into one single technology grade. In this case, this scores well. So this part has been left out since we only have these 2 data points. But this gives you an idea on how solid the tech is without you having to be a developer. So Aptos has solid tech. If we go to fundamentals, we see that basically it has good usage data in terms of web traffic and in terms of on-chain activity, basically active wallets. We have on-chain data factored into the fundamentals. It has a good list of investors. It scored well on that, but it scored poorly on tokenomics, right? So that tells, if we go here, we can see basically 160 million circulating supply, 1 billion total supply. So 16% of the tokens are liquid. That tells me what 84% of the tokens have yet to hit the market, and when they do in the future, that's going to cause a lot of sell pressure on the token. Obviously, it doesn't matter when that's going to happen, but that's something to factor in. And the exchange part, that I think we have to look into. I'm not sure why. Let me actually just ping my team real quick on this. And just bear with me for a second. Just bear with me, guys. Let me see what exchanges Aptos is on. Okay, yeah, so currently it's on Binance and OKX and Bybit. Okay, so no Coinbase, no, I'm not seeing basically no US exchanges. So I think maybe that's why it's kind of getting hammered or hit on that aspect. But anyway, that's kind of Aptos. So you said Aptos launch token. I mean, right now, I feel like there's too much Aptos hype. So I would be very, very, very careful with any new tokens launching on Aptos. Yeah, so right now, this is FTV 16 million, trading volume 3.7 million. We don't have enough data just yet to really do anything with this. But yeah, I would just be careful with anything on Aptos. And I see some KuCoin and MEXC Global. Yeah, I'll just be careful with all of this for the time being. But let's. Ooh, I like that actually. Okay, let's move on to the next questions here. All right. What's up, Ian? When in Paris next? Follow you for 6 years since the good old Excel days. You still look the same, brother. Thank you, Yamap. I appreciate it. Bonjour, mon ami. But basically, let me go back here. When I was in Paris. Was it last year? Yeah, I was in. I feel like it was last year. Time flies by fast. Because I was there for Paris Blockchain Week, I believe. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? But no plans to go to Paris at the time being. But it looks like I'll likely be at ETH Denver. Haven't fully confirmed yet, but probably I would say 75% chance I'll be at ETH Denver. But yeah, thank you for being with us for 6 years. Definitely appreciate that. Mark, greetings from Ghana. All right, that's awesome. Definitely love your jollof rice. Hello from Hungary. Welcome. All right, so Tusif, hello from Saudi Arabia. Appreciate that. Okay, so Donato says, what do you think of Opulus token? Well, let's see. Opulus, do we have it in Tokenmetrics? Okay. Yes, we do. Okay, so Tokenmetrics is neutral on this at the moment. On investor grade wise, if you go to trader grade could be better, but basically our indicator did turn bullish on the 27th. I see it's up 160% in the last month. It's on KuCoin, Gate, Uniswap, Huobi, and MEXC. Actually, let me go back to investor grade. Where did it not scroll well? Okay, so valuation-wise, it is undervalued relative to the sector, but fundamental-wise, leaves a lot to be desired. So going to this, has good usage, just okay investors. Tokenomics could be better. Team is good. ROI potential. Well, team is basically looking at this, how large the team is, right? So basically looking at number of developers they have on GitHub, but also LinkedIn as well, and or just company size. So that's kind of how that's determined. Definitely undervalued as a low cap. Community is all right. FDV of 60 million, market cap 20. Let me actually see what they do. I don't even know what this project does. This is the first time I've heard of this. Built for creators, driven by investors. Opulus, honestly, this, no offense to the project, I don't know much about the project, but not really bullish. It's like a music NFT. I would have to really see why they need a token, but when it comes to, let me see this. I see Brad is advising them, crypto YouTuber. I've actually interviewed him. We've had our back and forth a while back, but I guess it depends on how bullish you are on music NFTs. Not something I'm bullish on at the moment. I did invest in Audius a while back, which recently got added on Coinbase, so I believe that pumped. If we go to that, I mean, music NFT space, that kind of depends on whether you think there will be adoption. Maybe in the long term, but trying to invest in it is tough. Audius, I think, is worth looking at if you're looking for music NFTs. Good tech, valuation good, everything's almost 80%. So that's one I would look at on trader grade, and the trader grade is high. right, of 87%. Turned bullish on January 9th, and it's on Binance and was recently added to Coinbase. So I would look at those two. For me, I think you have to be very, very careful because there are lots of rug pulls in the NFT and music space, right? So the question is, how well are their tokenomics, and does it actually need a token? That's what I would look into. Thoughts on Sui? Is Sui the next Aptos? Okay, we don't have any data on Sui. Let me check CoinGecko. Okay, let's see here. I don't think that token is launched yet. Actually, wait, I'm seeing Sue. Yeah, that's a different Sui. Yeah, because I don't think the token is launched yet. But I mean, definitely worth keeping an eye on potentially. But all these projects, I think, while they could have great technology, you have to look at not just the tech. You have to look at, are they overvalued? So the example we gave was okay, just give me 1 second. Sorry, let me go back. Okay, so I wanted to send something here. Yeah, I mean, so the main thing is these projects, they launch with Ponzinomics. So for me, they're basically only good for trading until the majority of tokens are liquid and the inflation schedule won't really affect you. But try to value invest or buy these for the long term. For example, only 16% of tokens are out there, right? And there's a very low float, kind of like in stocks. So you know that there's going to be inflation in the future that's going to affect this, right? And that's going to affect your returns and your profits. So yeah, for me, they're only good for trading at the moment. So when Sui launches, I would only trade it. I wouldn't really marry it for the long term. Okay, all right. So let's move on here. Ian, any updates for Astrobot NFTs? So basically, the plan is we're getting community input in terms of what to use the treasury funds for this quarter. I think the options are we can either do the same thing we did last quarter in terms of buying back and burning Astrobot NFTs, or we can also look into giving a blue chip NFTs away. So let us know what you think. What option do you think is better? Last quarter, we bought, I think, Meebits and some other NFTs, and then we also bought, we also did a USDC giveaway. But definitely share with us any input and ideas you have in terms of what we can do for Astrobots. All right. So here, let me just move this. Do you think it's a bear market rally or the start of the next bull run? Well, as mentioned earlier with the market page, I think it's not a bear market rally. Well, we're not in a full-on bull run, but because based on Bitcoin dominance still being high, this basically, you could say it's a bull run in a bear market, right? It's a bullish month in a bear market. Until we're out of Bitcoin season and capital starts to flow out of Bitcoin and more towards alts, we're not in a full-on bull run, right? Basically, we're not in altcoin season just yet. So that's what I would I would say. Thoughts on Alchemix as a long-term play? Well, the cool thing is this is why we have Tokenmetrics, right? So as a customer, you can now come here and just use our long-term investor grade to find out. So in this case, not quite there yet. Grade of slightly under 70%. So looking at this, it is undervalued, but fundamentals are all right. Could be better. Technology is actually not good. Looking at what we have here with the new technology grade, basically, the main thing is security and audit, and we're getting our data from Sir.live. Security, audit, hacks, and audit reports, and bug bounty. So that's kind of why it's for the time being not a good long-term play at the time being. But if you like it, you like it. Maybe there's something you like about it. But based on looking at the data right now, in this point in time, well, it's a good product. It's not the best, right? If we're going to be in a market where it's risk on, but we're not in a full-on bull run where everything's pumping, I think you want to maybe think twice and ask yourself, do you really like this? Do you really believe in it? Okay. Have you had a look at the Vulcan blockchain? Layer 1 launching in 1 month. Is this similar to Vulcan Forged? Vulcan. Okay, no, I've not heard of that, so I can't really look too much into it because I'm not saying that. All right, next question. How would a Chinese takeover of Taiwan's TSMC chip manufacturer affect the Tokenmetrics platform? To my knowledge, it won't be affected. I mean, we don't have any exposure to that. I mean, unless our vendors like AWS have issues. But I mean, if AWS has issues, I mean, I feel like all of tech has an issue. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. Sir, AI is going parabolic. Sir, any new project of AI to invest, which is not yet pumped, started? Okay, so good question. Obviously, I can't tell you what to invest in, but I can show you how I would use the Tokenmetrics platform to find alpha, which we did for our customers on the AI narrative more than 2 weeks ago. I think like almost 3 weeks ago now. And those tokens have pumped, right? So let's say I want to find the next narrative, right? So I would just come to our ratings page, ratings. In this case, let's say we're looking at purely trading these tokens. All right, so I'm going to go to trader grade. And basically, I'm going to look for the AI category. We're working on fixing this ratings page to be a lot more user-friendly. So stay tuned. That should be launching, I would say, by early next month. Okay, so the category we're looking for is, because right now it's sorted based on popularity, not so much in terms of alphabetical order, which is actually not the most intuitive way. Yeah, so artificial intelligence. All right, so let's see what our AI thinks of the AI space. All right, so looks like we're getting lots of tokens with the same name. Looks like there's a data issue. But anyway, let me sort by descending. Okay, but I mean, so we've got Bado and Numerai. I mean, but all these are trending downwards. So, I mean, I would be very careful with these. All right, so yeah, because Fetch has already moved because before it was over 80. So That's not what I want. Let me just move that real quick. So if we come here to Numerai, I mean, it did turn bullish. If you follow the vision trends indicator on January 8th. So yeah, almost 3 weeks ago. And this one has yet to pump relative to the others. Investor grade wise, not quite over 80, but it is trending up. Looking at this, it is undervalued. Decent fundamentals. Technology could be better. If we go to Fetch, so if you're trading Fetch, this turned bullish back in December at 0.08. It's now at 0.28. Yes, up almost 20% in the last month. I mean, I think now would be a good time to maybe take profits because Trader Grade has begun to decline. On the investor side, investor grade is still good. So if you're looking at an AI play for long term, and now this is still good. Great fundamentals, undervalued. Technology is okay. So yeah, that's how I would play that. But let's say we're looking for a new narrative, right? So let me actually show you the process I would use if I wanted to find new narratives to invest in or trade in. All right, so let's do this. Okay, all right, so I've completely reset everything. Bear with me here as I add all these new filters. Actually, all right, so I'm gonna share what I share with our customers on our webinar in terms of the strategy. But basically, I like to filter out and only look at tokens that are in a bullish trend. That's basically this bullish trends indicator, right? When it turns green, all right, as a trader, it's telling you, okay, there's been a reversal. Now it's bullish. Now it's going up. All right, so I like to filter for that. Then next, I'm going to add a volume filter because I don't want to look at illiquid tokens. So we're going to say I want to look at 5 million and greater daily trading volume to filter out most illiquid tokens. All right, so now I'm going to sort. Actually, I don't want to look at anything where the Twitter grade is declining. All right, I want something that's trending upwards. So I would say in the last 24 hours, it's gone up more than. Actually, yeah, basically it's positive. And that's fine. And then I'm going to let me just fix it. Then I'm going to sort by descending trader grade. All right, so ignore the duplicates. We're having some issue with the data we're getting from CoinGecko with some tokens. Actually, let me add a filter. I don't want anything that's gone down in price as well, because I only want to find what's trending up. All right, so this is the list. All right, so I see we've got Ardor, which is a blockchain from like a while back. This was like 2016, 2017 project, I believe. Conflux, haven't heard of them. Ren was in the process of winding down. They should be, I'm not sure why they're still trading. Status, 2017 ICO. Galax, Auto, PundiX, Hollow. So I want to look at only projects over 80. So let's look into Conflux as an example. Let's look into Galax. Yeah, and let's look into Auto. And I was saying TwinDX, trader grid has changed by 13%. Okay, that's interesting. Is something moving there? We could also change and just sort based on what's moved the most in the last 24 hours. What's had the largest reversal in terms of trader grade? So that way you can find some projects that maybe aren't quite over 80 yet, but they're trending up, right? So we've got Lazio, which is a soccer team in Italy. We've got Lisk, Pinjex, Holochain. Okay, Holochain is trending up. Stratus. Okay, notice Stratus, Lisk, and Arda are trending up. All these are like 2017 projects. And all these were blockchains back then that kind of now have underperformed. But back then they were making a lot of money if you got in early. Notice it's kind of interesting that all those are kind of pumping at the same time. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on there. But this we already looked at. Fetch we already looked at. Okay, so we got Confluence. Oh, Conflux. All right, trader grade, almost 86%. It turned bullish back on January 15th. It's up almost 200% in the last 2 days. I'm sorry, in the last 2 weeks. It's on Binance, OKX, Gate. One thing I do like, if you're trading, you can use our levels to help you find support and resistance. So in this case, it's at 7 cents. We're working on making this a lot more user-friendly. Right now, we have way too many lines. It's giving you like every level. We're going to make this just give you the top 3 above and below. But basically, the way you would use this, if you're trading this, it's at 7 cents, right? Yeah, 7 cents. In terms of support, this is basically what you would set as a stop loss. You basically have 4 cents as a stop loss, right? So from 7 to 4 cents is down 3. And typically, if you're going to get in a trade, you want to have a risk to reward ratio of 3x or higher. So if it goes down 3 cents, you want to have a take profit, or you want to expect it for this trade to go all the way, right? 3 times 3, 9 cents. 9 plus 7. So basically, because I'm seeing this resistance at 11 cents before it does that, right? So if we're targeting like 13 cents, that's kind of an issue. So I would actually reduce the stop loss from 7 to 5 cents, right? If you're trading it. Basically, if it goes up 6, 13, yeah, that's not. I would just do 1 cent stop loss, but that's not really gonna move the needle much. So, but that's kind of how you would use these levels if you're trading it. On the investor side, not a good long-term hold. Looking at this, technology and fundamental could be better. But okay, so that's one token we looked at. Galax, trader grade is high. Investor grade is probably going to be low. It seems like a new token. Okay, yeah, fundamentals, all right. Valuation, undervalued, but we don't really have much tech on this. I'm seeing it's very highly correlated with Celo, the Graph, Hedera, Polkadot, Amina protocol. All these are blockchains. So this tells me they are blockchain as well, basically. So let's actually look at this website. If we pull this up here. On the trader side, January 13th is when it turned bullish. And it's on Coinbase. Okay, interesting. But then bear with me, guys. What am I getting up? Okay, so it says build your digital identity and earn tokens. Huh. What is this, like an NFT marketplace or something? Okay, let me actually go back here. Go to fundamentals. Okay, so it has lots of usage in terms of traffic and wealth activity. Our potential is high. Community is good. Tokenomics could be better. Okay, let's move on to the next token, Auto. 24 million FDV, trader grade high, investor grade could be better. Yeah, basically it's a low cap. But I'm not really seeing any big narratives popping up for this week. I mean, the week is pretty much over. The only one I saw was basically I saw like all these old blockchains pumping again. All right, so we got Holochain, we had Ardo, we had Lisk, Stratus. So it seems like old blockchain projects that are undervalued, old L1s, are pumping again. That's kind of like zooming out. That's the narrative I'm seeing, but I'm not sure I would hold those long term. But anyway, let me get into the chat and see how we're doing. All right, DCF says, did some deep research into Harmony, the tech, its offices in San Francisco, and its team, the ones that stayed and knew. All I can say is, wow, impressive. Only risk I can see is the security label, 90+ bull market. All right, yeah, thank you for that, DCF. That's basically a project we had covered this month. I think somebody asked me what project do I think could potentially be the next Polygon, basically as an L1. And I had mentioned Harmony. So let's actually pull that up and see how it's doing. So yeah, investor grade is still over 80. Yeah, so basically why our platform likes it, good fundamentals, very undervalued for an L1. Technology is okay. It is highly correlated with all these. So basically, if you had to choose between Phantom, even Helium, interesting, Arweave, or Harmony, this actually is pretty much like holding all these crypto assets. But I believe this has a lower FTV than all these. I have to double check with Helium and Arweave. But basically, this is undervalued relative to that. And then if you're trading it, it also has a high trader grade. So it's a good trade and long-term hold at the time being, looking at the data, right? Looking at the TA, and so on Binance and KuCoin. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to look at the sector for L1s, let's actually do that. If we go to smart contract platforms, for the long term, which ones are undervalued? It's a very, very good question. So if we sort by investor grade, what L1s does Tokenmetrics like? Okay, so surprisingly, Tron. All right, so we've got Tron, Cartesi. Also, so our tags are actually coming from CoinGecko. So sometimes they categorize some tokens that aren't necessarily L1s. It might be just more infrastructure plays where they're indirectly related to L1s. But in this case, looking at this, let's add a filter. Let's say what low cap. All right, so if we say we're low cap, let's say that are under 400 million FDV. Okay, so we've got Cartesi, we've got Injective protocol. I covered Injective on our customer webinar this week. I think also maybe even on the Astrobots alpha call. If you're an Astrobot holder, meaning if you have our lifetime NFT subscription, I have a Monday webinar, most Mondays, where I go through and kind of using this kind of answer questions from our Astrobot holders. And then same thing with our customers. If you're on the, I believe it, let me actually pull this up real quick. So these are the different plans we have for Tokenmetrics. Just kind of want to pull this up real quick. Actually, I do have a trade right now in Injective protocol that I did open up this week based on the platform. But basically, if you're on the premium plan, we have a webinar every Wednesday. So kind of the same thing for 1 hour where I go through the platform and do an AMA. But basically, where was I? Sorry, I'm kind of hopping all over the place here. Okay, yeah, so Injective recently announced a $150 million ecosystem fund. Let me actually pull up the news. Where's the right? So let me. Yeah. So basically, they're launching a $150 million venture group alongside Pantera, Jump Capital, KuCoin Ventures, Delphi, Kraken Ventures, and Gate, which tells me basically KuCoin, Kraken, and Gate might help with giving liquidity to the projects that are on Injective. But this is now a big narrative, right? We've got ourselves a war. Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. Just give me 1 second. Okay, all right. Apologies for that. But basically, now this sector is getting very, very hot. So basically, we have these DeFi app chains, or blockchains designed specifically for DeFi, which is what Injective does. Right? If you go to the site here, we basically have the blockchain built for finance. And one of the projects we've covered in the past is Sai Network. We've actually been talking to the team. Very, very interesting project. This we like as well. Right? We've got this. Then you've also got Radix crypto. Right? But basically, I'll tell you why very bullish. So if we had to rank them purely based on technology in this order, it would be Sai Network, then Injective, then Radix, just based on our team looking into it. But then sometimes you have to kind of look at which one is more overvalued, right? So what if I told you that Radix has a $1 billion FTV, right? But looking at the technology, we believe Injective actually has better technology, right? That's right. So if where do I want to go? Right. So if did I have Injective here? Right. Injective has an FTV of 267 million. So basically, it's about a quarter the price, a quarter the value of Radix with better technology. And they just announced an ecosystem fund for 150 million. I don't think Radix has that, unless I missed the boat somewhere. I don't think they have. Let me actually go to their blog here. Right, so to me, that tells me the market is mispricing Injective protocol. Right now, Sai Network, they announced a $50 million ecosystem fund, I think late last year, but they're about to launch. They're basically pre-mainnet. They're about to launch, I think, in Q2, I believe. And I think when they launch, that's going to be a big project. So let's say Sai Network launches with $1 billion FTV, or even, I would say anywhere from 1 to 4 billion. Let's say it puts on Aptos. because Say has a lot of adoption. Basically, the same thing. They're building a Nasdaq for like crypto. Basically, it's a DeFi app chain. So they have Multicoin, Coinbase, Delphi as investors, and they're claiming over 100 apps launching on Say. Right. So if you go to their ecosystem page here, they already seem to have lots of adoption. Right. Band protocol, Accelera, Seller, which we've covered before. Rated high on Tokenmetrics. Our team has bought this as well. But yeah, I mean, all these projects, Frontier, Kepler. So the question is, I don't know how big the ecosystem fund is for Radix, if they have one. Let me go to the homepage. But comparing all this seems to be like a big narrative that's about to brew, or that's brewing up. Right? Basically, this is kind of the same thing, full stack for DeFi. Now, what our blockchain engineer told us when he looked at all three, he said Radix had kind of basically easier onboarding and wallet infrastructure for users. That's the part he liked. But lots of the things they kind of were talking about seem to be very, very hard to achieve. And I see here we got Datadash and Ivan on Tech covering these two projects. So it looks like lots of influencer backing, at least YouTube-wise. But basically, looking at this, I mean, so this is a big narrative that's brewing up. It's basically the main thing that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. But I think Radix at $1 billion versus Injective at 270 million. I think Injective is undervalued. So if you're looking for a deep value investment, for me, in my opinion, that's what I would be looking at, and that's why we have a position in that. But let's actually look at Radix. I don't think it was on the ratings page, was it? Do we have Radix here? Right, because all these are low cap L1s. I mean, kind of funny that EOS is down to 150 million FTV. That basically is basically gone from, it's gone to zero. Because, I'm sorry, is that volume? I'm sorry, that's volume. FTV is, yeah, why is it zero? Yeah, it's basically an abandoned project ever since they're, yeah, but Radix, investor grade, not the greatest, right? Definitely undervalued. But I think that this is kind of misleading because it's comparing it to all smart contract platforms. But this is mainly an app chain. Right now, we're getting our categories from CoinGecko. They don't really do like app chain as a category like DeFi blockchain. But looking at this investor grade versus what I said earlier. So if we go to Injective and we compare the two, right? This is how you use the platform to find probably potentially the next 100x, right? You look at, okay, this has better, I mean, fundamentally at 90%, value also undervalued. Tech grade we don't have. They're basically good investor grade of 82% versus investor grade of 65%. This has a $1 billion FTV versus one that's basically a quarter the FTV. This tells me Injective is undervalued. And then if you want to trade this, you'd go to the trader grade, 87%. Trader grade here, also high. So trading, both of these would be good trades. Looking at this, they turn bullish. Then you could also leverage our TradingView indicators. For those of you who use TradingView, this is packaged as part of Tokenmetrics for depending on the plan you're on. Actually, which plan gets TradingView indicator? Actually, yeah, so actually all plans get TradingView indicator, which is $19 a month, beginning with basic plan. Or you can also just buy this standalone by itself. But basically, this is what it looks like. If you go to TradingView, I have my trades here. Let me move this here. So I have a whole bunch of stuff. This I don't need. This I don't need. Basically, this is what it looks like. For those of you who like TradingView, but want to leverage kind of like our signals, you can bring them into TradingView, right? So here we've got like basically it went, it said get out, exit, then long. So basically it gives you a signal whether to get in or get out based on the data. And it actually opened up a long position. I'm sorry, there was a long signal here. Now we do have trading indicators made out of two indicators. One's trend following, right? So looking at this, back here was basically the bottom, and notice has been green. Then we have one that kind of combines everything. But definitely worth looking into for those of you who use TradingView. But yeah, I mean, that's how I would do that. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Hi, Bernard here in the UK. I've been following you since 2016. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. What's your top 5 crypto projects for possible 10x in the next bull market? Very, very good question. Top 5 crypto projects for 10x in the next bull market. So that tells me we're looking at investor grade, right? So I'm going to come here, move from smart contract platform category to all categories, right? I have investor grade checked on here. And let's basically look at what has the highest investor grade. For the next 10x, so right now, total crypto market cap is at 1 trillion. So let's say we're in 2023. Let's say we're targeting what, 2025. I then start to look at what projects do I think are undervalued that can do a 10x. So I like to find a project that has a good investor grade that also fits the narrative that I think will be big next market cycle. That's kind of more looking at the sentiment, the market, basically FOMO. That also has value. That also has a good, where now is a good time to enter. So basically, I would take the investor grade first, and then I would take the trader grade second in terms of when to enter. So investor grade creates the watch list. Trader grade tells you when to enter. So what we announced last week, we launched our data API, which is also a product that's currently in beta. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Products, data API. But basically, our data is now available to customers to use. Right now, it's in beta. So right now, it's a free beta for Q1. Then Q2, we're looking to how we price that. But basically, I'll tell you why this is pretty cool, right? Because we had lots of people want to leverage our data. But here I have a sample spreadsheet. So let's say I want to keep track of everything in a spreadsheet. I could use the API, put in the API key, get all the tokens on a watch list, and say, okay, give me the investor grade and give me a trader signal. And basically say when both of these are bullish, now's a good time to buy. So let's say I want to build a watch list of products that have an investor grade over 80. So just keep tabs of these projects, keep tabs on when this turns bullish, and then just give me a signal. So this lets you use our data to kind of customize and build your own thing. This is what we're personally doing ourselves with TM Ventures, our investment fund. We're using the data API to basically pull in the data and kind of do our own things with it. But basically, if I come back here, right? So it's kind of like doing your own filters and then merging all this. This will be easier once we launch our new ratings page next month, where you can customize what data points you put on this page. For example, you could have both investor grade and trader grade. But for now, let's say, what are the big narratives we think will happen next market cycle? One I've covered before is the multi-chain narrative, cross-chain interoperability. That seems to always be a big narrative. And I noticed Stellar has the highest investor grade. And it fits that narrative. It's basically helping dApps and different blockchains connect with each other. So the fact that it has a high investor grade, very undervalued, right? That's why it has a high investor grade. Only 200 million FTV. A 10x from this FTV is basically 2 billion. So to me, I think that's possible. That's why we purchased this actually this week. So that's one I would put on the list as one that I think could do a 10x next cycle, right? Good investor grade. Looking at this, right? All this almost 90. And trader grade is also over 80, right? So investor grade creates the watch list. Trader grade helps you enter, right? So now basically it's a good time to enter based on this. That's kind of how I personally use it. But so that's one. One we're looking at. Actually, I think we bought this week. Yes, we did. Because if I go here, yeah, IoTex. We also bought IoTex. This was a trade, but we're doing more research into it to see if we potentially hold this for the long term. But right now, it is a trade. This is basically an IoT blockchain. And for some reason, my browser is not loading this. Okay, let me refresh my page. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, seems to be having some issues. Okay, we can come back to that. But yeah, I think IoTex also has good investor grade and also was bullish on the trading side, right? So that we got into, right? Because basically IoT blockchain, 285 million FTV, 10x is 2 billion. I think that's reasonable. We have Lido DAO, LDO. Liquid staking derivative tokens. That's been a hot narrative this month. We covered this like over 3 weeks ago, and those tokens have already kind of pumped. But if you're bullish on Ethereum long term and staking, worth looking into. But FTV is high, right? So let's say for 10x, we're looking at low caps, right? Because 10x on large caps, yes, that's also reasonable. But Ocean Protocol, this one, and this has done pretty well. This we also bought this week. Same thing. We're basically using the platform ourselves. So high investor grade, high trader grade tells me put it on the watch list, good entry. We always do our own research. This basically is used to help narrow down what tokens we're looking at, right? So what goes on the watch list is what has the high investor grade. This is for the long term. Then trader grade tells us, okay, now's a good entry point, meaning that it's basically bottomed. And then the way we look at it is we want to hold for the long term. So I would hold for the next cycle, and with a target of a 10x at least. So this, although FTV is high, I think if you want something that fits the data and AI narrative, this is one we like. Fetch.ai, I think the trader grade for this dropped, but let's say DeFi app chains, right? So Injective is one we also got in this week. The trades I've made this week were basically the ones I covered on our webinar. IoTex, Loopring was one, Keep, Perp, and Injective. Now we do have stop losses on all these as trades. But yeah, so Seller, IoTex, I would say Seller for sure. IoTex kind of good. Ocean, good. Fetch, it's been running up a lot. I have to double check if it's still bullish on the trading. But I mean, if you're looking for an AI narrative for next cycle, if you think based on Chat GPT-3 and GPT-3 being big, that the AI sector is going to do well next cycle, if you had to choose, the AI narrative tokens would be Fetch and Ocean at the moment. Then we have Injective, DeFi app chain narrative. I think that's going to be a good narrative. And Injective is undervalued relative to the others. Chia is on the watch list, but entry, I think FTV is high. on this week's customer call, I covered Dusk Network. If you're looking for a privacy category token, Dusk had the highest rating at the moment, and it's up 60%. Although this needs more research, so we've not pulled the trigger on this yet. Gitcoin has a high grade. I would like to find out exactly what the token is used for, if it has more value than just being a DAO. Oasis is an L1, and Harmony is an L1. So actually, I would add Harmony because I've covered that before. So basically, Harmony, we've got Harmony, Seller, and Injective. So cross-chain infrastructure is Seller, DeFi, AppChain, Narrative. So basically, a blockchain designed just for DeFi applications, Injective, and Harmony as an EVM, as a low cap EVM L1 to kind of compete with all the EVMs. So those are three that I think. Apologies, guys. If I had to add, one that always has good grades is Livepeer. It's kind of like this is like a 2017 project. Low FTV is like a video or streaming project, but hasn't really had much adoption. But maybe this is the market cycle, but not fitting a narrative quite yet. I mean, honestly, I think if you had to pick a large cap L1, I think Solana is one we like. We covered this before. It was actually our coin of the month for this month, I believe. At $13 FTV, 10x. I mean, I think it's possible because it's been hit a lot. So I mean, those are the ones, because you asked for what? For 5? Did I give you 5? I said what? Seller, Harmony. Let me go back. Seller. Obviously not financial advice. All right, do with this whatever you like. I said Seller, Injective, Harmony. Solana, and then for the last one, I'll pick one of the others. Right? We have like different options. So we've got IoTeX, we've got Ocean. So let's actually maybe try to narrow this down. If we say show me only those that have 80 or higher. All right. And now I would like to sort by FTV. So large caps, I mean, Polygon could also do a 10x. I mean, so if you want to play it safe, these are large caps we like. So I would say Solana, Polygon, Tron, Lido, DAO. So the irony is Tron has actually had a pretty good cycle or returns, right? Even though it gets lots of backlash on Twitter, right? Looking at the data, Tron was a better store of value. Now, I'm not giving Tron a value judgment, right? But I'm saying just looking at the data, Tron was a better store of value than Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Why is it not showing here? Okay, looks like the data updated. But basically, last year, Tron was only down 35% versus Bitcoin dropping like 56% and Ethereum dropping 75%, I believe, from like all-time high. So despite all the FUD, I mean, Tron was actually a better store of value, which is surprising. So if you're just looking to make money, that's kind of how I would view it. But if I had to choose large caps, I would actually skip Tron, the irony. So I would say Solana, Polygon, Lido, DAO for large caps. Right, for large caps. Then if we went super low cap, right, super degen. Okay, not sure why Novus has 0 here. I think maybe there's no FTV from CoinGecko. Yeah, I would kind of skip all this. Yeah, so basically the list we kind of mentioned. So we have to research more. But I would say, I mean, Seller, I like. Legpeer, research some more. Harmony, Injective, IoTeX. I mean, maybe even Anchor, looking at this. Then we got Fetch, Kusama, if you're building Polkadot ecosystem, Loopring, which we have a trade open at the moment, Ocean, Oasis, if you want like an L1. Yeah, that's kind of how that would play out. All right. Let's see here. What other? Next question. How would you DCA from here if you didn't invest yet? Good question. So let's pick a project, right? So let's say we're looking at, not Tron. What project? Not Radix. Let's say Injective, right? So basically, let's say I want to accumulate Injective for the long term. I would say, well, you kind of have two different approaches, right? I mean, the best approach is to buy low, sell high, right? It's to buy when everybody's selling. But sometimes that's tough to do. Not everybody does it. But I would say that's actually the ideal time, right? But let's say, let me go through two approaches. One approach, if it's over 80%, you basically just accumulate, or you DCA over the course of X amount of time frame, right? Let's say every month, every 2 months, every quarter, whatever, right? Every week. But basically, that's one approach, right? If it's over 80%, you basically buy. Right? If it starts trending downwards, if it goes under 75%, or definitely if it goes under 60%, basically time to get out, sell, take profits, not bullish on it for the long term anymore, right? So basically, you would just essentially just use these gauges, right? If it's strong buy, you're in. Not strong buy, take profits, get out. If it's neutral, definitely get out, right? That's one way, right? Basically, if it's strong buy and above, I would just accumulate. That's one method. The other method, which I kind of like, which is a hybrid approach between investing and trading, is using this to create the watch list, then using this to know when to get in. With this, you're basically trying to time the bottom, the reversal, right? Basically, you see, okay, this has reversed here on the 14th at $1.60, and then you basically get in. Right? This does more trading, but yeah, I would basically use this as an entry, and then let's say this goes below an 80, I would stop accumulating. I would stop DCAing, and just let this ride till this goes below like 80, 75. But obviously, I would test different approaches, but it's kind of one that I'm kind of using at the moment. Is it too late to get into Chainlink spot position? Let's look at Chainlink. I mean, long term, it's okay, but it's not very, very bullish. Technology is good. Fundamental is okay, good, but very, very overvalued. Then if you're trading it, I mean, trading it is not bad if you're fine with trading a large cap. But if you're looking for something more low cap for the long term, this is not it. We've covered other oracles that we like in that sector. Jake says VAP here. Thanks for being a VAP customer, Jake. Appreciate that. Ian, do you think Ethereum will 2x this year? This year, I mean, anything is possible. Is the first thing I would like to start with, because it is crypto. So you have to think about anything being possible. Two, it definitely is possible, because if it does a 2x, it's still, like, let me actually go to, let's pull up on TradingView. Right, if it's a ETH let's use Binance. All right. So if we zoom out, so right now using our indicator, I mean, let me actually zoom all the way out. Actually, no, that's not what I want. Actually, sorry, just bear with me, guys. Yeah, I mean, a 2x from here is still below all-time high. So, I mean, if Bitcoin can move 35% in a month, I mean, Ethereum can as well. That's the first thing I would say. And which token did I have? Let me close all these different tabs. All right, so that's the first thing I would say. Going to, yeah, it's up 30% in 1 month, right? Can it, okay, you said 2x. Okay, so 2x is actually going to be like a 3x from here. So basically, can it go back to all-time high? I think it's possible. If the market goes from, if capital flows from Bitcoin and we go into alt season, because 2/3 of crypto assets are built in Ethereum. So I think once we go to altcoin season, if that happens this year, I think that's possible. We can go back to all-time highs. But I would view things in probability, and I would just leverage the grades on tokenmetrics for all that. So hopefully that helps answer your question. What do you think about Pulse Chain? I think I would not touch it unless you're getting an airdrop. But is that out yet? I don't think it's out yet, right? Because people have been waiting. And yeah, I don't think it's coming out anytime soon. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Thoughts on Sui? I covered Sui before. It hasn't launched yet, so just be careful for VC Ponzonomics. So be careful of the low float and the high FTV when it launches. So until we know how that's going to play out, me personally, I would not be looking to hold a long-term position until I'm sure the FTV is reasonable relative to other competitors in the space. But basically, I would just trade it. So as a trader, I would just use the trader grade and our trading view indicator. Hello, Ian. I'm a customer. Please bring back weekly code reviews, hidden gems. Well, now we've automated that, right? So if you go to any token, we have, so code reviews is basically the technology grade, right? So now everything's directly on the platform. And then hidden gems is basically fundamentals. We're working on creating even more in-depth reports directly on the platform, but basically all this is now directly on the platform, right? So developer activity, security and audits, and code quality, right? It's now being distilled into one single grade. We're working on being able to turn this into an actual report directly on the platform on each token's page. And then same thing with fundamentals, right? So because if we can do this for over 1,000 tokens and have it update every week, that's better for us than creating one single code review or report that can be outdated in 6 months, right? So to have something that's dynamic, that updates weekly and scales faster to a lot more tokens, we think that will be better for the platform and customers. So that's why we're working on putting this directly on the platform. Now, we'll still be doing the newsletters, right? Those should be going out. But ideally, long-term, we would like to have everything directly on the platform for you to access. Do you still think Harmony is a good pick? They got wrecked. I'm hesitant about them. What do you think the 100x potential? Well, I've kind of covered it, right? Low cap L1, this an EVM compatible chain. When Ethereum does well next cycle, all these EVMs are going to compete again. So you have to look at which ones have potential. I think one, the fact that they have the best investor, a good investor grade, and have the lowest FDV with over 90% of the tokens out there. And the fact that they did have, yes, the bridge hack from like North Korea, but that means the market is undervaluing it, because prior to the hack, it was pretty good, right? I think they had over $600 million hacked, I believe. That means people were actually using it, right? So low FDV that was actually being used by users. And DeFi Kingdom was one of the projects, I think, on their chain that did well or had adoption. So they've already proved us. So next cycle, I think they can build on top of that. And for me, I think it's very, very undervalued relative to other projects that, I mean, yes, now after post hack, the TVL is low, but we're seeing in crypto that people move with where the wind blows, right? So Phantom, Andre Cronje left, it tanked, then he came back again. Now it's going back up, right? So people in crypto move with the wind sometimes. But if you think long term and look at the fundamentals and say, okay, not looking at the price, looking purely at the valuation and the technology and the fundamentals, is this severely discounted versus these other projects? I don't think so. So for me, yes, it's a risky play, but if you're going to make a risky play, I think this is one of the safer risky plays, if that makes sense. But obviously not financial advice. Okay, actually, I'm supposed to have been getting a call. Please bear with me, guys. I might have missed some meetings here. Might have to wrap things up. Yes, actually, apologies. All right, so with that being said, I think it's time for us to wrap things up. But definitely thank you for all the questions. Hopefully all this has been helpful. I do plan to be on the Astrobot webinar or Alpha Call on Monday to all Astrobot holders. So just check the Astrobot chat. For those who are curious, you can, do we have Astrobots here? If you go to Astrobot Society, you can basically purchase an Astrobot NFT and use that to log into the Tokenmetrics platform. And it gives you basically ownership of your account. So if you want to use that to log in, if you're done with the platform, you can just sell it on the market. And it's a lifetime NFT that gives you access to the platform. So, and I have a alpha call with them every Monday. Then I'll also be in the webinar next week. All right, so with that being said, thank you, everybody. And as we like to say, let me just cue, let me actually cue this, all right?
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
All right, thank you, everybody, for being customers. Definitely tune into Tokenmetrics every week. Typically, we go live around 11:30 noon. Depends on if we have any technical issues. This is Central Time, which is actually 12:30 Eastern Time, New York time. And recording is always posted on YouTube and streams out onto Twitter and everywhere else. Definitely share this with everybody. Make sure to give us a thumbs up, a like, if you want to see me more online. With that being said, hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.